Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I'm eating into your lunchtime. I'll try and run through these slides quickly. So, we're planning to put out a citizens portal on medicinal plants and One Health. We've been working on it for a few years. Let me just go with the main points. We all know, we've heard that there's a we really want to kind of mainstream the rich heritage of culture of medicinal plants and health. We've heard this thing about Har Ghar Ayurveda, Har Din Ayurveda, and that's really what we want to do. The point is to mainstream part of our culture. Today, you go to a rural area, to a village. The first way that any health is treated by first the healthcare and Western medicine. Can we kind of reverse that? Can we mainstream Ayurvedic health and traditional health among all the population of the country? That's really the purpose of what we want to do. So we really want to build out an online citizens collaborative and participative portal where people can get access to information, access to healthcare services. People can contribute to the healthcare, to the information system that's available there. So it's a two-way process where we can build an online collaborative and participative platform that will aggregate and curate medicinal plant data from traditional scientific literature and local health traditions. It will organize the information along ingredients and their availability and distributions, the curative and sustaining property of ingredients. It's very important that Ayurveda is just not curative, it also has sustenance of health. And finally, formulations that can be used for better health and well-being. So the portal will allow citizens to query in all languages all across the country in the next few years. It will allow citizens to query and interact with this knowledge system. So if somebody has an ailment, the person should be able to kind of get an advisory on how to treat this health system. Also, the portal encompasses or is planned to encompass not just human health, but animal and plant health as well. Okay, we are not building out of nowhere. We are not building in vacuum. We are building with a background of existing databases and portals. We've been doing this for the past 7-8 years. From the beginning of 2000, we have this Indian medicinal plants database that FRLSG has brought out. It is a database that covers all different types of medicines, traditional medicine in India, and is a database of all medicinal plants that is normally used. And there are the database has something like 7,262 botanical names and about 1,50,000 vernacular names of medicinal plants, all linked to different medicinal plant systems. This is available online. This is available online today if you go and you can access this database. Then there is the NVIS Center on Medicinal Plants, where the status and conservation status of medicinal plants has been highlighted, and this also is a separate database, separate site running. Then there is the distribution mapping and using GIS and mapping backward linkages for traded species. All the traded species, where they come from, where are their markets, what is the quantity sold, etc., has been databased and put out and available on this particular site. Over the last 3-4 years, we've tried to do an experiment on taking one particular district and trying to see if we can give health security to that district based upon the medicinal plants, their availability in that particular district, close to their home, close to what the kitchen uses, etc. This is an experiment that's been on, and this provides information on what kind of what is your ailment, how to treat that ailment, what ingredients will be available in your house, in your household kitchen, and what ingredients will be available in the surrounding areas for you to access this. We have a backend database, that is the implant database on medicinal plants of 6,500 species, very detailed system on all this. We also have the India Biodiversity Portal Medicinal Plants Group, which has the distribution of medicinal plants across the country. This is a citizen science portal. This is an expert collaborative portal, and it has information on medicinal plants and their distribution, their biology, their distribution, their conservation status available in the India Biodiversity Portal. The plan is to really integrate all this into a citizen-oriented, a citizen approach, citizen-centric portal. I was very happy to hear that TKDL is planning to kind of open it out. It was confined to patent offices. It's planning to open it out to a larger audience. We'll be very, very happy to kind of integrate information from that and provide it to the citizens in a way which is attractive to citizens to use. The proposed architecture, we're integrating the species. The species information, species status, etc. will come. Then there is the Aushadhi microservice that we've kind of designed, where the species information, species ID will be imported, and along with it, the plant part that is used for medicine, the Dravya Guna of the plant part, the karma, the formulations and pharmacology will be integrated in a whole set of tables and a database, which will be the Aushadhi microservice. Then the Prayoga and the use microservice. And so these are separate modules that will be built that will interact with each other. The Prayoga microservice will have Aushadhi and its ID imported, formulations and its ID imported, local health traditions, home remedies and references. Very, very importantly, every bit of information will be referenced through a reference developing system. We will do this for Manusha Ayuryoga, Manusha Roga and Prayoga, Vriksha Roga and Prayoga, and Mriga Yoga and Prayoga. So we want to encompass human health, animal health and plant health in this whole system. We've been working the last 2-3 years as a part of the National Mission on Biodiversity, a preliminary design and development integrating all these different systems into one. Then there will be the utilities microservice, where the user, every traditional user will have the traditional, there is a traditional healers network that FRLST has been cultivating, and so they will be users on the system. There will be traditional Ayurvedic whites, there will be citizens, there will be farmers who will be users on the system, use this information as well as contribute to the information. Literature is very, very important. We need to have a nice reference system which can reference whether any kind of prayoga or any kind of dravya, etc., aushadhi, what is the kind of reference in literature, if there is a reference in literature and directly linked to it, what is the reference in traditional texts, what is the reference in local health traditions. So you will know the trace, you'll be able to trace where that particular innovation came from. Finally, there is an integration with the market met plant database, met plants, traded species, what is the quantity, what is the conservation status, etc. And then the Indian languages translation, which is absolutely important. Today, there is an unknown power in the hands of the cell phone. There's an unknown power in the villages. People use it a lot. People are raring to go. We just have to enable it in local languages. That is the major hurdle that we have. If we are able to kind of provide it in the 22 languages by a translation port service, it will be very, very effective and used very largely. Finally, the outcomes, organizing the met plant data. We will have contributors from Ayurvedic wides, traditional healers, scientists. The met plant data will be the central database. We will get input from scientific literature. We would get input from TKDL and TKDL databases. Traditional knowledge systems will feed into this thing. We will have the species and the species distribution, conservation status, biology, etc. coming into the met plant. It will be validation. There will be such a system of validation by experts and value addition. And then it will be kind of used by farmers. Farmers will access this. Citizens will access this. This is generally the scheme that we've kind of designed, and we are ready to go. The database structure, etc., has already been designed and put in place. Expected outcomes, important. Har Ghar Ayurveda, that was a nice line that I heard. Har Ghar Ayurveda, Har Din Ayurveda. So mainstream traditional healthcare systems and achieve cost-effective localized health security for the population. If we do this, it will really be, the major debt in this country is because of people, villagers or lower or poor people going and paying money in hospitals and medical emergencies, which really is the major drain on resources of the poor. And that's why they get into major debts. So localized, cost-effective localized health security for a population. Establish prior art. This is very, very important. We need to be much more confident of ourselves. Local health traditions need to be much, much more confident of ourselves. We cannot keep knowledge secretive and confined to small zones. We have to put it out in the global market. I would believe putting it out assertively in the global market, play very confidently in the global market, in the India market, put out this information, establishes prior art in the use of medicinal plants, and asserts intellectual property rights over knowledge. So it's very, very important that all of us get much more assertive, not get secretive, and put it out in the public domain through the internet, through these media. Negotiate access and benefit sharing. Now, access and benefit sharing is supposed to be ordained by COP and by various agreements, but access and benefit sharing is just giving a pittance, giving some kind of apology of some benefit to the local community which has this resource, which has this knowledge. We need a much more active access and benefit sharing. I think in some conversation with Darshan, we were discussing this, and he was saying there must be locally available use and value add to the resources that is there. Just not just the value, the resources being used by multinational companies and big pharma, but there must be a value add at the local level, and that must be kind of transferred. And that is really what is access and benefit sharing. Access and benefit sharing today is an apology of giving some little dole to the local person who has this knowledge. Finally, conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity resources for human health and plant health. There are many, many intricacies. I will not go through it, but that is really what is our dream. 25 years is a long time in the sphere of technology, in the sphere of portals, in the sphere of technological innovation. We need to do this in the next 3-5 years. The first cut must come out in 3-5 years. 25 years, we don't know what will happen in technology, in knowledge transfers. We have seen the last 25 years, the kind of changes that it's brought out in our system. 25 years is too long a time to wait for this. Finally, thank you very much. Thank the organizers for giving us a place to speak. It is a cooperative effort between India Biodiversity Portal, the Biodiversity Collaborative, MetaString Foundation, TDU, FRLSD, and the other organizations that have been collaborating and huddling together in developing a system like this. Thank you.